was with Richard Lawson, then J-Lo and Ben, and now Linda and Judge Mathis. What is really going on? Irreconcilable differences appears to be the excuse for, many of these divorces happening. It was stated the reason for Jennifer Lopez and Ben, who originally dated from 2002 to 2004, and then after about a 20-year break, they rekindled their relationship in July of 2021. They got married a year later, which fell on July 16th of 2022. But on August 20th is when they held their wedding ceremony. Now, what's interesting about this is Jennifer Lopez announced the separation April 26th of this year, and they filed for a divorce on the same day they got married, which is August 20th of this year. Now, many people weren't surprised with this being J-Lo's fourth marriage, but then there were others who expressed their thoughts on blogs as people who, were very emotionally invested in Jennifer Lopez and Ben's relationship. But there was no prenup. Jennifer Lopez and Ben are currently still in the process of reaching a settlement on how they're going to divide assets. But I would like to know you all's thoughts on this. Me personally, I don't understand why many of these celebrities even bother with marriage, especially if they're not going to take it seriously. And irreconcilable differences. And I understand for the most part there's just information you don't want to reveal on why you actually divorced. But irreconcilable differences to me seems like it's just becoming an excuse or a cop out. But moving on, Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson, they've been trending on social media. Now, when I heard Tina's husband name, I was thinking like, where did I hear this name from? And I actually remember Richard Lawson name being in the movie Brown Sugar with Tay Diggs. If you saw Brown Sugar, I'm sure you would be familiar with the part when he caught his wife on a date with another man.
Wow, all out. Greased up from a man. I'm sorry, I'm Dre Ellis. You are
Richard Lawson.
Richard Lawson. All right, you sound educated. Good for you, girl.
Good.
Oh yes, Richard Lawson sounds very educated. Very educated. Well, him and Tina, Beyonce's mother, were married for 8 years. Before their marriage, they were both previously married, and the reason for their divorce was cited for irreconcilable differences also. Now, what's interesting about them reaching a divorce settlement, remind you, the divorce was filed last year of July of 2023. Well, the couple signed an NDA by agreeing to agree on any statements made about their divorce mutually and to not speak ill about their children, grandchildren, and spouse, which honestly made me wonder, okay, what does Richard Lawson know? As someone who's a father-in-law to Beyonce, he's a father-in-law to Jay-Z, a grandparent to their kids. As I was reading on this, I'm just saying like, okay, this man was paid pretty much to leave peacefully and quietly. Now, in their divorce settlement, both parties waived their right, to spousal support. Tina agreed to give Lawson a one-time payment of $300,000. This representing full and complete settlement of all interests that has been acquired during the marriage in the community property of the parties, as well as his obligation on any and all community debts. Tina also gave him a 2021 Cadillac Escalade, the right to all earnings acquired since the date of their separation, funds acquired through his businesses, his SAG pension plan, royalties, creative works made during their union, and personal belongings, including clothing and jewelry. And they also stated the reason for divorce, again, irreconcilable differences. But many articles said the breakdown of their marriage made it impossible to live together as husband and wife. Again, many people really wasn't surprised about these two. However, many were in great shock to come across Judge Mathis and his wife, Linda Mathis, being the one who filed for a divorce. Yes, they got married June  1st, 1985, and been married for 39 years. So that's nearly 4 decades. Now they have 4 children over the age of 30, which removed the assumption that maybe they only stayed together because of their children. I mean, this is oftentimes why couples wait to divorce once the children are out of the house. But no, their children are over 30. And so many don't believe, okay, this is so much the case. And so again, Linda Mathis, the only thing that was stated, the reason for divorce was for irreconcilable differences. And we're not talking about a 5, 10 year relationship. We're talking about 39 years. That's 39 years down the drain. One person said, this is proof that marriage does have an expiration date. Someone else said, and these women are wondering why men do not want to get married. Dang, nothing lasts forever. Another person said, marriage culture in the nation is dead. Another person said, this isn't Jennifer Lopez, who seems to marry to break Elizabeth Taylor's divorce record. This is a woman that has been married for 39 years. For this woman to dissolve a 39-year marriage, Judge Mathis had to do something so horrific that there is no possible way she can live with him as her husband. I don't believe Linda is looking for another man, but what she is not looking for is to be married to Mathis any longer. Stay tuned because this story is far from over. And it's always easy to speculate, because no one actually knows what happened behind closed doors. The only ones that really know are those two and, of course, God, and maybe the children. For 39 years, like, that is a long time. Me and my husband get to that point. It's just like, no, I just moved to one side of the house and you move to the other. Because, like, it's like, what we starting over for? Now there were women making comments saying that at that age women aren't necessarily looking for a man, like, more than anything they just want a peace of mind. But to be with someone for 39 years, I mean, y'all, either things just kind of stay buried for that long, which that's just really hard to see, or y'all work through issues to be together that long. And so, I mean, I don't know. I know there were also people saying, judging Judge Mathis' character from his television show and, what is released on social media, that he does come off very egotistical, big headed. I mean, just a stubborn bull. I know it got to be tough being married to a judge, just off the top. Now, another person commented and said, marriage still means something. I agree. If the two in a marriage are willing to make it meaningful. And again, I agree with this comment. Marriage is not dead. The problem is most couples follow their own will, their own feelings, their own desires, instead of submitting them to God and following His will. This is not to say, that marriage is easier, when you have God at the center of it. That's not what I'm saying. However, what I am saying is there's a level of conviction and honor to God and your spouse. I believe the worst thing people can do is follow Hollywood couples and look to them as examples for marriage. None of these couples I've discussed have God at the center of their marriage. People try to downplay the need for God in marriage, but the truth is, it makes all the difference. Again, because we're talking about honor, a level of fear, respect for God first and foremost, and that brings conviction. It brings conviction. But, of course, for the most part, people mostly see the worst examples, from a lot of these pastors who make marriage out to be a joke. And so I'm saying, don't allow these Hollywood couples to discourage you in marriage. Every marriage goes, through its up and downs. I'm at my 10-year mark. And within this period of 10 years, like, it is not easy. I would be lying to say that marriage is easy. It takes work. If you are married to someone who's abusive, sexually immoral, then I believe those are grounds for divorce. Now, if you have a spouse, I mean, they are just unwilling to make it work. You can't force someone to stay in a marriage. you can only choose better, choose wisely the next time, but you can't force someone's hand to stay in a marriage. Like you can't. And this is why I believe it is important to have God at the center of it. And so, yeah, saying all that to say again, don't allow Hollywood couples to discourage you in marriage. Marriage is still honorable, and there are still men and women who still believe in the sanctity of it. But that's enough of my thoughts. I would love to know you all's thoughts in the comments below. Blessings.